Alright guys, in this video, what I'm going to go ahead and do is let's just talk a little bit about, the things that we've covered up to this point. So this is the last part of the Unit 4 material, okay? So just to be clear, we ended on point slope, okay? So us ending on point slope, it's really important that you understand that you have to know how to use the point slope formula, okay? So I'm going to just go through a couple of examples, and then the next video that I'm going to shoot is going to be over Unit 5 material, which will have to do with parallel and perpendicular lines. Alright, so notice that there's two ways to sit back and use point slope. There are times where we have to, again, write the equation of a line that passes through, and they give us a point and the slope. Okay, then here they want the answer in slope-intercept form, but I'm also going to show you one step further to put it in standard form. All right, so here, I forget which ones we've done in class, so I'm going to just jump around a little bit. So let's do number 2. So notice the point that they give us is 2, 4, and the slope is 1/2. So if I have a point 2, 4, and slope is our m, is 1/2, then what I'm going to do is, as long as I see that I have my point, this is the x1, y1, which is the x and y coordinate of that one point. And then, of course, the point slope formula is y minus y1, m, x minus x1. Okay. Forgive me a little bit about my voice because it's kind of sore, so just bear with me. I'm going to try to talk as loud as I can. All right, so now I'm going to substitute in my x1 and y1 values into this formula. So I have y minus 4, because my y1 is 4. My m is 1/2, x minus, and then my x1 is 2. All right, after you sit back and you plug in the respective values of m, your x1, and your y1, now you got to do the distributive property. Now, before you start distributing over here on the right side, go ahead and go back to the left and drop down, y minus 4 or y plus 3, whatever's on the left-hand side of the equal sign. And now start the distributive property on the right side of the equal sign. So 1/2 times x is just 1/2 x. 1/2 times, again, assign this minus to the number that's back here. So this is a -2. Another way to look at this is, remember, we don't like negative sentences or subtraction sentences. So you can change that to a plus, guys, and then bump back the negative. And even more so, you can see now this is a -2. All right, so 1/2 of 2 is 1. And then a positive times a negative is a negative. So this is a -1. And again, they want it in slope-intercept form. So we want it to look like y equals mx plus b. So that means I'm going to add the 4 over to the right side because I want to get y isolated by itself if I want it in slope-intercept form. So now I have y is equal to 1/2 x plus 3. And this is the answer in slope-intercept form. Okay. Now, if they ask you to put it in standard form, remember that before we got into point slope, that was what we were doing before, which, can a student convert or rearrange from slope-intercept? Can they change it and convert it into standard form? You have to know how to do that. And then also going the other way. Can you convert from standard form back to slope-intercept? So again, this one's in slope-intercept, so let's change it to standard form. Now, when you look at standard form, notice that the x and the y are on the same side, and then the number or constant is left by itself on the right side. So that means I want to move this 1/2 x over to the left side. I have to do inverse operation. So I'm going to subtract 1/2 x, sorry about that, guys, 1/2 x to both sides. So now this will be gone. Okay, so remember, this is one answer, so just leave that to the side. 1/2 x plus 3. Again, this is the answer. But now I'm rearranging this. Okay, so I subtract 1/2 x to both sides. So now I have 1/2 x plus y is equal to 3. And remember, I told you that the conditions for a, you cannot have it be negative, and you never want to have a fraction. You want a whole number, right? So again, remember that a has to be greater than or equal to 1. All right. So what I'm going to do is, I told you guys multiple times, make sure you circle that number or highlight that number that's in the denominator. So I'm going to highlight the 2. So I want to multiply this entire equation, guys, by a 2 So I can get rid of this 2 in the denominator, but there's also a negative on that 1/2, so it's going to be a -2 is what I'm going to multiply by. So now when I distribute the -2 to every term in the equation, the final answer is going to be a negative times a negative is a positive. Half of 2 is 1, so this becomes a 1x. -2 times y is -2y equal -6. So this is the answer, guys, in standard form. All right, so now you have both of your answers in slope-intercept and in standard form. And that's the same equation that passes through this point and has a slope of that. All right, let's do another one. All right, so I'm going to go back to the worksheet. Now I'm going to turn the page. I think I did them before in class. So let's look around. Again, as you can see, I already did number 9. And you see on number 9, notice how, again, I used the point slope. I put it in slope-intercept form, and I also put it in standard form. If you do not have number 9, try to pause the video here, guys, and try to work it out on your own. See if you come up with the same answers I got. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and move to number 14 and also do number 16. All right, so for number 14, the point that they give us is -6, -8. And the slope they give us is 5/6. All right, here we go. So again, we are given a point and a slope. This is the x1, this is the y1. And the point slope formula is this one. Again, the more that you write it, guys, the more that you can commit this to memory. So very carefully, remember, never plug anything into this x and y. Don't plug anything here. You plug into the x1, the y1, and the m. All right, so I got y. There's a subtraction symbol. My y1 is a -8, so -8 will become ++. My m is 5/6, x -6, because our x1 was -6. And that double negative will change to double positive. So now I said, let's clean this up. We have y + 8 is equal to 5/6, x + 6 in parentheses. All right, so we're going to come back to the left, transfer down, y + 8. Remember, you can always pause the video if you feel like it's going too quick, but again, we've practiced this in class. Make sure that you study over the break, okay? Let's do the distributive property. So 5/6 times x is 5/6x, and then 5/6 times, remember when you distribute, you're doing multiplication to every term. So 6/1, this becomes 30/6, which equals 5. Okay, or remember I've taught you guys how to reduce diagonally. So there's 5 times 1, so it's just 5 again. So this is a +5. Remember, they want it in slope-intercept form. So we're going to isolate our y, move away this constant. The final answer is y equals 5/6x - 3. Don't forget your rule of integers. Okay, study. So this is the answer, guys, in slope-intercept form. Now, if you want it in standard form, I'm going to subtract the 5/6x and move it over to this side. I have to change the sign. It's a positive here. I'm going to change it to a negative. So when I move that 5/6x on the left side, I end up with this. And again, remember, if you want to sit back and make a be positive and a whole number, multiply by whatever number's in the denominator of that fraction, but I have to make it a -6 because this was a negative fraction, because a negative times a negative will give me a positive. All right, guys, you see that? So when I do this math here, and if you need to see how I'm getting the answer 5x, it's because I'm doing -6 times -5, which is 30. 30 divided by 6 is 5x. -6 times y, -6y, -6 times -3, 18. Okay, so I'll draw the arrow so you can see I distribute and multiply that -6 to every single term in the equation. And here's the answer, guys, in standard form. So you should feel comfortable if you look at all the skills of, again, taking a point, taking a slope, using the point slope formula, okay, getting everything down, simplifying, and getting it into standard form, slope-intercept form, but then also converting to standard form. All right, good on that? So I've showed what? I think 2 examples. Let's do one more. That's the answer. Now remember, you should also be able to graph this, so let me show that super quick too. So as a sketch, let's try to graph this. So this is a quick sketch. Remember that this value back here, this -3, is your y-intercept, right? Because if you let x equal 0, do you see how y will equal -3? So that is your y-intercept. So we're going to go to -3 on the y-axis. That's our starting point. M is an address. M is an address, right? It's our slope, the inclination of our line. So this is the relationship between every point that's going to make up this line. So M here is 5/6, which means I'm going to go 5 up and 6 to the right. Again, that's the rise over run. So I'm going to go 5 up from this starting point and 6 to the right. So I'm going to jump up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm rising up 5. And then I'm going to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right. So from here again, the address is to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to run to the right 6. And again, this coordinate here would be 5, 2. Okay, I'm sorry, 6, 6, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And then now, you see, you have produced the line. You don't need a calculator. So you just graph a linear equation. Easy. The other cool thing you can do too is in standard form. Remember, this is slope-intercept. This is where you do the y-intercept, rise over run. This one, of course, you can get your x and y-intercept. So if you let x equal 0, do you see how y will equal -3? Because if I divide by -6 here and -6 there, y will equal -3. So that would be 1 point. And now if I let y be 0, do you see that? I'm going to divide by 5 here to solve for x, divide by 5 over here, and so I'll get 18/5. Well, 18 divided by 5, it goes in there 3 times, leaves me with a remainder of 3. So this is 3 3/5. 3/5 is the decimal 0.6. So at about 3.6, guys, comma 0, this is my x-intercept. And here's the cool thing. I did it in slope-intercept form. Notice carefully, guys, notice how if you just look at an approximation, right, like here's my 1, my 2, my 3, look at where I went through here. Remember, all I did was go here, up 5/6, but look at my sketch. It's pretty accurate. You see that? This is 3, this is 4, 3.6 is somewhere right about there. So this is my y-intercept. I'm sorry, excuse me, x-intercept. All right, let's do one more, and I'll stop the video here. Well, no, I'm not going to stop because I need to show you how to do it with 2 points. All right, moving on. So the next one I think I wanted to try is let's do 7, 8, and then a slope of -2. Okay. So the point they gave us is 7, -8. M is equal to -2. Let me double check that real quick. Again, this is number 16. Yeah, got it right. All right, now remember, we're going to do the same thing, but I'm going to move very quick now. So y minus y1, m is -2, x minus 7. Plus. So now I have y plus 8 is equal to, and I'm going to do the distributive property, -2x plus 14. Again, I multiplied -2 to every single term. A negative times a negative is a positive. Now I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. So here's the final answer in slope-intercept form. Y is equal to -2x, and this is plus 6. That's it. And if I want to put it in standard form, I'm going to move this x term over to the left side, but I have to change the sign. So this becomes a positive 2x plus y is equal to 6. And again, that a value is positive and it's a whole number. So this is the answer in standard form. Look how fast that was. Okay? And again, from standard form, I tell you, hey, can you give me the x and y intercept? Sure you can. If you let x equal 0, y will equal 6. So at 0, 6, that's your y-intercept. If you let y equal 0 and solve for x, divide by 2 to the other side, x would equal to 3. You divide by 2 on both sides. So at 3, 0 is your x-intercept. And again, we could sketch, and we could say, hey, y is 6, or 0, 6 is my y-intercept. So let's go up 6. There's a point there. And then at 3, 0 is the x-intercept. And then we graph. And the reason how we'll know we're very accurate, right, guys, is because remember the slope was negative. So it is going down and decreasing to the right. All right, so again, that's how you find and you write a linear equation or function, because functions we graph them, right? Writing a linear function or equation given a point plus m. All right? The homework to this, guys, if you turn through the practice, fill this in, is the homework is homework number 6. Given A again, point and slope, you should do the evens over the break. So 2 through 10, all right? And that should be that. I could give more, but I'm not. Now, the last thing for this video is staying on point slope. I've also taught you guys how to write the linear equation or function when you have 2 points. Okay, so in this case, they don't give us m, but guess what? We can solve for m because we know the slope formula, and then we use the m and one of these points, and then we use point slope. Okay, so again, there's some I've done in class. I've circled these, meaning I've already done them, all right, with different groups. So I'm going to go ahead and do number 4. So I'm given the 2 points, 1, 6 and 2, 5. And remember, it's just there's an extra step. So the extra step is I've given the 2 points. Now I have to use the slope formula. So this is my x1, y1. This is x2, y2. And the formula says m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to do 5 minus 6, 2 minus 1. Pause the video if you don't see where I got that from. And this would be negative 1 over 1. Okay, so my m is equal to negative 1. Now that I have the slope, I can choose either point I want. So I'm going to choose this one. And that's going to be, again, my x1, y1. And now I'm saying y minus, my y1 is 5, my m is 1, x minus x1, which is x minus 2. And now I'm going to go ahead and go back to the left, y minus 5, distribute and get x minus 2, and then I add 5 to both sides, and then what do you know? Y is equal to x plus 3. That's the answer in slope-intercept form. I was given 2 points. I found my m. Oh, I messed up, guys. This was supposed to be a negative. That was supposed to be a negative, so therefore this would change to a positive. You see how little things matter? And this would be a 7. Ooh, I caught it. All right, I'm going to pause the video there. All right, so the answer to that problem was y equals x plus 7. And so again, if you wanted to put this in standard form, then of course you would move the x term over to the left side, and then you would have negative x plus y is equal to 7. But remember that you do not want a negative on your a value, so you have to multiply the entire equation by negative 1. So once you distribute the negative 1 to each term, the final answer in standard form would be x minus y is equal to negative 7. So this is the answer in standard form. All right, so now let's move to another one. Okay, so on this packet, I must have circled, if we have not done number 14, try that one. I'll see if I can get the solution out for you guys real quick. But I'm going to go ahead and do number 12. So what if they give us the 2 points, negative 2, comma, negative 2, and then 1, comma, negative 5? Okay. All right, so if I have negative 2, comma, negative 2, and the second point is 1, comma, negative 5, then this one would be my x1, y1, and this is my x2, y2. I have to calculate the slope, right? So m is equal to y2 minus y1, which would be negative 5, minus negative 2. At the bottom, we have 1 minus negative 2. And so now we have negative 3 over 3, which again is negative 1. So my m is negative 1. Now I'm going to do y minus, I'm going to choose to use this point. So I have y minus y1, so y minus minus 2. My m is negative 1, x minus minus 2 for my x1. So when I clean this up, I have y plus 2 is equal to, and I'm going to go ahead and distribute now, negative x minus 2. And then, of course, if I wanted in slope-intercept, subtract 2 from the left, subtract 2 on the right side. So the answer is y equals negative x minus 4. Okay, so this is the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points. In standard form, it would just be x plus y is equal to negative 4. All right. That's that. Okay, I'm going to do one more. This is number 13 on the packet. So what if they give us 3, comma, negative 5, and the second point we pass through is 2, comma, negative 1. Right? Again, there's your x1, y1, x2, y2. So again, m is equal to y2, which is negative 1, minus, this is your y1. I'll go ahead and label it just to be consistent. But the more you practice it, the more it becomes secondhand. Alright, so now this is plus plus divided by x2, 2, minus 3. And it helps to say it aloud. That way you can see if I can say these are the numbers and this is what I'm getting ready to write down. So this becomes 4 over negative 1, which is negative 4. So we have a slope of negative 4. And let's just say we're going to use point number 2. So I'm going to choose to use this one for my x1 and y1. As this is the last problem, I'm going to go ahead and write the formula again so you can see it again. This is the point slope formula. So now I have y minus y1 is my negative 1. The m is negative 4. X minus 2. Okay. So now we have y plus 1 is equal to, let's go ahead and distribute on the right. So this is negative 4x plus 8. And now I'm going to subtract 1. So the final answer in slope-intercept form is y equals negative 4x plus 7. Alright, and if you wanted in standard form, move the x term over to the left side, change the sign, you would get a 4x plus y equals 7. Okay, so this was in standard form, and this was in slope-intercept, and that's the end of the video. Okay, so what I've done in this video, alright, is I have done it where we can write the equation of the line, guys, when we're given just the point and the slope. And then we've also now done where we can write the equation of the line given 2 points. And so the homework that I want you guys to do is homework number 6 that has the point and slope. Just do the evens 2 through 10. And then also on homework number 7, I want you guys to do, when you're given 2 points, the evens 2 through 10. So it's 10 total problems altogether, and it helps you to practice on point slope, and this will be a homework assignment when you come back from the break. Alright, hope you guys are having happy holidays. I'm going to shoot one more video over parallel and perpendicular lines, and then I will also, when you come in, we'll practice and you'll have a homework over that one.